everybody, thanks for watching. And just a quick reminder that Ancient Religion Volume 2 is now available. Make sure you guys check it out. Also, for anybody that's going to be in Las Vegas, and for my people that's already here in Las Vegas, make sure you guys check out this event on November 29th. Gospel of Hip Hop at the Housel's House on the campus of UNLV, taking place November 29th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be moderated by Taylor Cummings. She's been meeting with a lot of politicians and people in Las Vegas and just really addressing social issues and the psychology behind social issues and basically the psychology that we face, dealing with social issues. As you can see, I'll be on the panel by these other, people with these other people. So make sure if you guys is in Vegas, you check it out. And yeah, it's going to be cool. Just talking about the, hip hop and how it has affected the Black community, how we can use hip hop to change what's been happening. Basically, a lot of stuff I've been talking about, over the years with hip hop. It's going to be a question and answer session and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure you guys check it out. I'll post the video eventually on Merkabah Academy. So make sure you guys check it out if you're in the Las Vegas area at the end of the month. Also books. Anybody waiting for books? As I said, if you order the book, you will get it. I appreciate you guys' patience on the matter. As I said, it's been a lot of issues with that, and I appreciate you guys' patience and understanding on that. Also, Never Pay Again membership is still available. It will end soon, so make sure you guys take advantage. So yeah, as I talked about this before, I know a lot of people have issues with me. At the beginning of the video, I always talk about what's out, what's new. And, it's just a problem we have with a lot of people who just have issues with me selling stuff. So I don't understand what that's about. I understand what it's about, but it's crazy. So it's crazy to get so many messages and people just thinking this shit is about money. When I've been doing this for so long, I'm one of the people that have been on YouTube putting out this information the longest, been here for over a decade. And it's some people who find it funny or weird that we sell shit. And it's like, what are we supposed to do? Like, you have Black people who say they understand economics, who understand that, the issues we have in the Black community, the number one being economics. So, we're not supposed to sell shit. So I don't get it. I don't understand what's the issue. And it's like, people really won't support you because they have fucking hate for no reason. They don't understand why. Because they hate themselves. They hate what they see in the mirror. They hate their life. They hate their job. They hate a bunch of shit. So when they see somebody that they feel like is doing something, they got to hate on that, and it's one of the things that I've seen for a long time. And it's like, what's the issue? So we can go to the people who's been oppressing us our whole lives and go and support them and patronize them and buy from them with a smile on our face. Don't say nothing derogatory at all. No issues, no problems. But as soon as a person as soon as we sell anything, it's a scam. It's a problem. And, because we don't have the support that we should have, things are not always going to run smooth. And then that's always an issue. And people bring that up and then, it spreads out. And then people just, every little thing you do. Before I was selling books, before, any of this stuff happened with legal issues, when I put out my first video, it was issues about, why are you selling something? Like, I'm not supporting that. And this is the issue that we have. And again, like I told people this before, it has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with support. And if you understand economics, then you understand how important support is. It's just that simple. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people who just, like I said, they hate themselves. They hate their lives. So anything you try to do that make it look like you coming up or you getting some type of money, there's going to be hate involved. Like, I don't deserve to get paid for the work I put out. It's crazy. So like, whoever the people who post that shit, I don't know what you think, what are you doing? What is that going to do? Like, I don't get it. It just make you look bad. And it just, puts a bullseye on you for me to just ban you from the fucking channel. But, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, what are we supposed to do? So, if I was selling, what do I got to sell? Like, I guess if I was selling something cooler, like fucking video games or something like that, then, it wouldn't be a big deal. But me selling t-shirts or me selling, lectures, videos, it's a problem. This is the shit that we're talking about. But yeah, I'm going to get into the video because it's election day. So we get into this every year. But this year is definitely not the same. It's the setup. It's the lead up to, the ousting of Biden. And you can understand that if you've been paying attention, you can see what's coming. You can see what's going to happen. So we got to understand the GOP, they want to get these seats because you're going to have to explain later on how Trump becomes president again. So yeah, we get Biden in there. Biden comes up when he first started running, and he looks like he's going to be a rock star. He's getting out of the helicopter looking, 20 years younger, putting on the, gloves and everything, and just showing people, he's going to, kick ass, or I don't know, forget how to kick ass. I don't know. But he came out all tough, and everybody thought it was going to be something. The same way people thought what Obama was going to be, this amazing thing, and it was nothing. You thought, okay, well, he's going to basically do what Obama didn't do. And no, he didn't do shit. Came on the Breakfast Club. He talked all that talk. Did nothing for black folks. It is what it is. But if you're paying attention to the last few presidencies, everything has been the scapegoat mentality. We're going to be able to pass things, against the people and use this president as a scapegoat, to justify what we pass. So in the case with Obama, it was like, okay, he's black. Even though a bunch of white people voted for him. He had the support of all black people, a bunch of white people voted for him. It's supposed to be this big unity. Everybody cried. But, the whole narrative is, he's black. Republicans don't like him. So they keep basically, messing with his bills. He's not going to be able to pass anything because the Senate is going to fucking, write it off or block it or what have you. But then he signs executive orders, just like Trump signs executive orders, which basically can, Fukushka, get rid of, the Senate vote. Like, you don't have to deal with that. You just sign executive orders to pass what you want to pass. Now, they could take it and fight it up to the Supreme Court, but it's highly unlikely that the Supreme Court is going to basically veto, something that the president passes, using executive orders. So we had that whole thing, Senate in a way, they're going to block Obama. Yeah. Trump said, okay, I got it there. I'm going to do whatever, but his whole thing was the same situation. Democrats blocking, Democrats this, Democrats stopping them from doing this. Same thing. So they can also use Trump and say, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's actor, funny guy, reality show guy, whatever. He doesn't know what he's doing. So he can mess stuff up, and then we can just say, hey, this guy didn't know what he was doing. Whatever. He ran on racism. I got a bunch of racist people running everything. And this is what we can say for his presidency. And then now we have Biden, and it's like, this dude is about to pass out and die any day. Senile as fuck. Forgetting shit. He got Alzheimer's. Something wrong with the guy. He's a problem. He has to go. Now, Biden makes sense because, we got to get somebody in here that's not cool with Putin, because we know what's going to happen with Putin in Ukraine. We know what that's going to happen. So we got to get a president that's not going to be cool with Putin during this time when this stuff happens. It's going to look a little weird, with Trump in the White House. And then we need all this stuff to go down. Then on top of that, we need the economy to take a big hit. And believe it or not, check the data. Trump was pretty good with the economy, believe it or not. He's doing well with the economy. And he understood, he understands business. So, he doesn't really fit for this term with Biden being president for the things that they want to accomplish. So, yeah, Biden had to come in, Trump had to go out, and then it's going to be another swap. So now one of the biggest things that's on this ballot that they talking about, you guys know, is school choice reform. So this is a big deal. It kind of goes into everything I've been talking about because you can understand what they're trying to do. So school choice reform, it's a good thing. It's a good thing when you really look at it, but it kind of sort of get rid of the whole critical race theory issue when you really pay attention. But at the same time, it fixes a problem that we have in the black community. And that's, our kids not being able to go to good schools because their parents are poor and they live in a low income zip code. They're pushing this whole thing about, public school indoctrination. Pretty sure you guys heard about this now. Public school indoctrination. And they're basically talking about, hey, they're indoctrinating our kids. They're teaching our kids all kinds of crazy stuff. And the, test scores are low and the kids are learning about too much stuff they shouldn't be learning about. And it's a big deal. It's the whole thing same thing with critical race theory. They're trying to instill this for many different reasons, which we'll get into. But one of the main things is to now all of a sudden they understand that, well, wait a minute. black people, they're not getting adequate, adequate schools. They're not getting adequate, books and teachers, and they're not getting what they need to raise their kids right in the school system because of, the zip code. And then they just now figuring this shit out, right? Okay. So we need this reform to happen. But the reform is really about, this critical race theory thing and them now understanding that, well, wait a minute, it's a lot of black teachers out there, a lot of black teachers. Also, it's a lot of people that's homeschooling their kids, the woke people homeschooling their kids. And we can't have these kids outside of our control learning what we don't want them to learn. So, it's the same type of situation they did back with integration. These people don't like us, scared of us, they hate us, but they know we got the best shit. So in order to get them over to our side, we're just going to open the doors to them. And then if they want what's best for themselves, they're going to come right on in. And that's exactly what happened. So we came right on in. And what happened? We destroyed the black community. We destroyed black economics because we stopped putting money in the black community, start putting it in their community. So it's real simple. It's just, we're going to open the doors and let y'all come in. What doors have been closed to us for, forever? It's that door to those good schools. Because if your family ain't rich and live in those rich white communities, your black kid ain't go to those good ass schools. Meaning he didn't get, parents already have money if you live there anyway. But he didn't get those scholarships. He didn't get that education to get the scholarship and get into a good school and surround himself with kids that's educated and smart, and become something later on. So we've been denied that because our parents were poor. We lived in, a low income zip code. So we had to go to public schools, right? We're going to change that. Let me read this first. Story in America. America knows public schools are indoctrinating their children. It says here real quick. Americans' trust in the public education system has been failing for years and reached an all-time low this past June. It's not difficult to understand why. Public schools shut children out of the classrooms for months because of the COVID-19 pandemic and then forced them to abide by ridiculous mask and quarantine policies for even longer. The harm caused by school closures and mandatory masking will take years to undo. And yet there has been no apology or even hint of regret from the people responsible. And that's just them trying to attack the public school system, the government, the public school system. That's what this whole thing is about. Public school system. And that's because the bureaucrats and union lobbyists running the public education system aren't actually interested in educating or caring for students. Public schools' COVID response was just one example of their priorities. Another, which is far more concerning, is the woke material that has taken over the public schools curricula. From the ahistorical 1619 Project to the gender unicorn, leftist ideology is running amok in our public classrooms, and students are suffering as a result. Now I'm going to scroll down here real quick where it says, reading and mathematics proficiency has dropped so significantly over the past several years that the U.S. reading and mathematical scores are well below the average of other countries, and it's been that way for a long time. In California, for example, the average 8th grader has the mathematical proficiency of a 5th grader. One would think this lapse in achievement would send off alarm bells in the minds of education leaders. And yet, state response has been to lower the testing standards for the sake of diversity, equality, and inclusion. This is what happens when wokeism replaces common sense. So, whole thing is, school choice reform, taking away this whole thing, which is a good thing, that, you have to send your kid to the school within your zip code. And that has to change, where we can say, well, I'm paying taxes. My tax dollars go everywhere. This is America. Like if I go to another state, I still have to pay taxes there. I don't just pay taxes in my state. If I go to another state, I got to pay taxes and they're going to give me that money back. So what's the difference? If I'm still in my state and I'm paying taxes, why do I have to go to this specific school in this zip code? Why can't I send my kid to what school I want them to go to that I feel is the adequate school for my child? Common sense makes sense, right? So the whole thing is now, LeBron, like he knew, hit it on the head. LeBron opened a school. So just like we have private prisons this private school industry is about to blow up. It's about to boom. Because now, if this passes, this whole reform passes, then now you can choose to send your kid to a school that's basically approved in, wherever. So you don't have to live in that zip code. That sounds crazy because it's like, well, if this is the best school, I'm going to send my kid there. But they know it's not going to work that way because not every parent's going to be able to send their kid there. And not every kid is going to want to go if, they don't have the adequate stuff. You're not sending your little ghetto ass kid to this nice, rich ass white school across town because you think it's going to help them out. Then it's not going to work that way. It's going to be some type of situation with that. But, you have the choice. But what this does is effectively, get rid of critical race theory, which they talk about in that whole article there. I want to read the whole thing, but it takes care of that. So when you hear words like wokeism, woke being a problem, like I don't understand why being woke is an issue. You gotta think about that. So this whole attack on consciousness, being conscious and being woke and just understanding what's going on is a part of critical race theory. They just want to change the whole narrative, change the name. Wokeism, being woke, that's a problem. These people who think they know shit and want to teach it to your kid. They want to teach your kid to hate themselves, to be, feel bad for being white, feel bad for being black, so on and so forth. And since you have this uproar of people having an issue with that in the public schools, and then now you can tack on a debacle with COVID, people are saying, you know what? I'm sending my kid to a charter school, private school, what have you, because I don't want to send them to these public schools because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Whereas in the black community, we don't have a choice. A lot of people don't have the money or the time to send their kids to these schools. And, it's an issue. But now you have this reform. And if there's money to send your kid to the school, if there's money to make it work, what are you going to do? So like I said, just like back, desegregation, that's what people are going to choose. Empty the public schools. I don't want to send my kid there. I want to send my kid somewhere where I think they're going to have a chance and do something with their life, which shuts down the public schools. But it also, it forces the people, this is how you're going to know who's who. If at this point you haven't taken advantage of the opportunity to send your kid to a better school and you would rather leave them in this private school, they know these are the damned kids. These are the kids whose future is probably going to be fucked up. These are the parents who don't care, the parents that's super poor. We can specifically target these people now, because these are all bad apples most likely. And the parents who really care or is in a position to do something, has done something for the kids and pulled them out of there. And now you have an opportunity to send your kid to a better school. What are you going to do? What are you going to choose? So it's more to this whole reform. It's not just this, by the way, but it's a lot to think about, because now if you're trying to force critical race theory, just like it will help black kids, to understand this stuff, white kids as well. But at least now, the white kids can say, or parents can say for their kids, I don't want to send my kid to that school. I want him to go to another school. And just because now, pay attention more than ever, I've seen this in Philadelphia, you have, the economy hit hard. It's crazy. So you have so many white kids in the hood now. And if you're from Philly, you understand, 52nd up there by Malcolm X Park, you see it's a lot of white people moved in around there. It's usually like, what are you doing here? It's like, yo, you crazy. And they're there now. And it's like, whoa, where the hell they come from? And they're there and they're in the Chinese store and it's what the hell? But this is what happened. Economy dropped. The relationship was better. And then white people like, what? I can live here for how much? For a fraction of what they used to paying out in the burbs. So to them, it's worth the risk. And they're like, fuck it. But they got to send their kids to those schools. And then now it's like, oh, now my kid's learning about this. And then we live in this area. It's a problem. But a lot of them have the means to send their kids to a better school. And now, not just them, but everybody's going to have the opportunity to. So, under Biden, you see what's happening. Economy is fucked. Makes more sense to bring in somebody who had the economy doing well with Trump, and they got to justify that and make room for it. And we'll see how it goes. But to do that, this is what today is important and why it's important. It's the first step. Republicans need to win today. Plain and simple. They need to win big. They need to win big so they can control the House. They need to control the Senate. And this is how you can explain how, Trump gets back in and, all hell breaks loose once again. But, this was clear as day plan that you could see just paying attention how this stuff is going to go and, what's going to happen. But, yeah, I tell people, I've talked about this for years about, how I feel about elections. And, if you want to go vote, I'm not encouraging anybody to not go vote. If you want to go vote, go and vote. In fact, I encourage you to go vote because then you'll see the same shit. You're going to go vote because you feel like you want to make a difference, that your vote's going to count and you have a say so in what happens in this country. But we know that's bullshit. Most people are going to go vote so they can go post it on the gram and say, hey, I voted with a button and shit like that. But I mean, like I said, we had a black president for 8 years, 2-term president. Come on, y'all. If we had a brother in the White House for 2 terms and he ain't passed shit specifically for black people. And I seen that bullshit interview with Charlemagne and them, Breakfast Club or what have you with Obama when they asked him, how do you feel about, black people saying you did enough for black people? And you heard his bullshit ass excuse. Well, I did a lot of for black people. And, black people, we did this and this got raised and this got, it was a bunch of bullshit. He didn't do nothing specifically for black people like he did specifically for the LGBTQ, whatever community. And then you have, Biden who specifically did stuff for the Asians. I mean, we brush it under the table and this dude literally passed laws to protect them when we haven't gotten protection yet. It's crazy. I don't think people realize how big that was, what he did. That first sign of trouble for them, boom, protection, law. And it's like, what? Nothing. We don't get shit. Look what we had this whole fucking riots and all this shit that happened. I mean, we go back to Rodney King, all the stuff that's been happening. We've been through for years. Slavery. What? We get nothing. And if we didn't get nothing under Obama and then now Biden, come on. But, like I said, this stuff is going to change. As I said, it's just something to think about, but you got to pay attention because this is what's happening so they can shift in new things, without us understanding. But it's the same stuff every election year. Every year, whenever it's election, whenever it's something big like this, it's the same stuff. It's not hard. You don't even have to pay attention. I couldn't even tell you who all the candidates is. I know Herschel Walker is running for something in Georgia. I don't know. But as soon as you watch CNN one time and you hear what they're talking about back and forth, listen to the rhetoric, you understand, you can see the agenda clear as day. You can see what they want to do. And then you just pay attention to key words, education reform and, school choice reform and just the economy and them harping on the economy. This is big because, we ain't fixed that shit with China. We know what's going on with that. And, stuff is touchy right now because, you can't bring Trump in. Yo, this is crazy. You can't bring Trump back when he had such a issue with foreign relations, especially when we dealing with this, economic problem now. And yeah, America-wise, he's cool with the economy, but our problem is import export. We have a problem with China. This dude done made jokes and yo, this is gonna be crazy. Trump get back in there, yeah, pay attention, man, because I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know how we gonna fix this issue. So I feel like he's going to say something to do something that's just going to piss China off or piss some people off, and it's going to screw us economically even more so. I don't know. But I don't see how people think this is a good thing for a global economy. U.S. economy, yeah, we'll see. But they're talking about, numbers like 2008, worse than 2008. See what Stock market is tanking. It's problems, man. And this is exactly what I said before. Go back and look at my videos. I told y'all this has to happen. It's going to happen. It has to go down like this. So out with Biden and in with whoever. Who knows? To me, it's going to be Trump again. And it would make sense, looking at things and the direction that it's headed in. But if you pay attention, you're seeing, a lot of these schools go up. And a lot of people are ahead of the game. It's one of the things that first set me off to understand that this was going to happen, with this school choice reform thing that I seen schools popping up. Not just that, if probably in your city as well, they have this free, online schooling now to where you can send your kid to school for free online. They'll send them books and a laptop and everything. And they're doing that now because then we're getting ready to have this whole digital switch. And I said this before when COVID was going on, that this is going to be something that they keep, because it's good for some parents, especially ones with you got 9 or 10-year-olds or whatever, who's okay, stay at home 8 hours. They responsible enough to feed themselves and, stay in class or what have you. It's cool. But, they want to do something that's going to kind of take away from the homeschooling, to combat the homeschooling. And this is one of the things, because you can get your kid the education on that level to get, to pass the school board stuff and everything like that. But at the same time, you can still homeschool. But it's going to be convenient for a lot of people. But I see this huge exodus away from public schools, especially in the Black community, because that shit's going to start trending, And it's already was memes and jokes when it was going on with COVID, and people just, people moms walking past the computer, and like robes and just towels and stuff on, funny stuff, while kids in class. But it's going to be convenient. It's going to be probably better. It's going to be probably some more perks to it. And, a lot of people was like, well, when the kid go to school, that's my free time, get them the fuck out of here. Or, I gotta go to work, they got those hats down that say, fuck them kids. Shirts too. It's hilarious. But some people, they want the kid to be home. And it's convenient for some people. But you have those kids that get bullied or live in really bad neighborhoods, and their parents terrified to send them to public school. And, that's the help for them. And then it's really more to appeal towards the Section 8, moms, the SNAP or food stamp assistant moms. And it's millions of them. It's a bunch of Black people who a lot of these, they don't got no job. These girls don't be having jobs because they getting benefits. So to keep their benefits, they don't go to work, or if they go to work, they work under the table. So for them, they're already home anyway. So if they don't got to get up and take their kid to school or whatever, worry about that shit. Kid can just be home and go to school. You have that as well. But like I said, I see an exodus away from the public school system. It's been too many problems. It's costing too much money. And then people typically go with anything that's going to save us money or, tax money. So this whole school choice thing is probably going to be huge. But election, it's here once again. We got more coming, of course. And like I said, a lot of people had asked me about this. And I'm telling you, get out there, go and vote. So you want to feel like you did something, go vote and feel like you did something. Because, like I said, to me, what's going to happen is going to happen. I mean, like I said, just common sense. Like we can't get this right. How long it's been? You do what's best for the people. How hard is it to figure that out? But it's always an excuse to keep fucking us over every year. It's common sense to do for the people. We got the money. We have the resources. What's the problem? The problem is they don't want to. And it's the same thing. You got to give us a reason and explain why you can't this term. And it's like, enough's enough. In any other situation, the person is fired or sent out. Look at freaking Indianapolis Colts. For anybody that's Indy fans, I'm sorry. But Frank Reich, he's gone. I think he was a good coach. Not just because he was, coach for my Eagles. But I think he knew what he was doing. I think, he just picked 2 bad quarterbacks. But in football and sports, what happens? Coach ain't doing good. Team ain't doing good. He got to go. He's gone. And you're fired. You mean to tell me that you have sports executives and, you have a whole sports system that's more intelligent than our political system to understand and see that this guy is a problem. He's not good for the team. He's not good for the country. He's not good for the people. He got to go. Why can't we do that? Oh, impeachment is crazy. Can't impeach. And yeah, they're talking about impeaching Biden ass too. Just for leaving those people in Afghanistan or Iraq or what have you when all that shit went down. That was crazy. But he's more than that. He might be in trouble, but I doubt it. But yeah. So it don't make sense. Like I said, it don't make sense that we can have all these problems and we can't question shit. We can't really get our politicians to do what we need them to do. That's going to benefit the people. They're not doing what's going to benefit the people. They're doing what benefits the corporation. And that's clear as day for the simple fact that we have a thing called lobbyists, which is the biggest crock of shit ever to me. And it's just like, how do we let that slide? Lobbyists. We have people that can lobby with politicians for the benefit of their corporations or corporation they represent over the people. So forget that we need this parking lot area to build a new school. Nope, this guy want to put a freaking Walgreens there. So we're going to give it to him because he paid me under the table. But you don't need to know about that. I mean, it's crazy. It's just telling you how corrupt the system is. And it's not for the people. It's for the corporation. But that's another story. But to believe that after all this time, they certainly going to get it right. And we're going to go and vote. And then everything's going to be all right. And then tomorrow I'm going to be able to go to work and have a raise and make more money. When you're not. To me, as a person that has to work in this economy, what you should be focused on is how much more money am I going to get? What's going to benefit me and my family that you're going to do specifically that I can see immediately? And yeah, people was hype about stimulus money until they did their taxes and realized they had to pay that shit back. I mean, yeah, people was going crazy over the PPP and all that until they realized they had to pay that shit back. A lot of people. But it's the same thing, just, different year, but more deeper this time because this is important for, what's to come. And, everybody thought we was done with Trump and like, it's like, well, wait a minute. This is supposed to happen with Trump. Trump's supposed to do this. But, like I said, this is why Biden had to come in because of the war. And because we need somebody to blame this spiral for the economy on. And let's just blame it on this senile, old president who we elected supposedly off the strength of Obama because everybody wish we could re-elect Obama for some reason. And yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Hey, if you live in a state that got the lottery, play that shit. It's like a lot of money right now. Play the lotto. People always ask me, oh, should I play the lotto? Play it. I know a lot of people that won, not crazy money, but won some money. You have a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on right now. And the economy is crazy. I mean, look at the price of Hot Pockets. If you eat Hot Pockets, damn, it's like $1 something, like $4 now. Stuff is going up and people getting pissed. We had fuel prices go up, but food is going up like crazy. It's a problem. Yeah, so people pissed, because Hot Pockets is all that. And yeah, but yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Make sure you guys grab Ancient Religion Volume 2. Check it out. Appreciate everybody that supports, who's not complaining about stupid shit. Like, I'm not supposed to make no money. I'm supposed to just like sit here like I'm the richest man in the world. Like, because I'm a YouTuber, I'm a billionaire. All of a sudden, I'm not supposed to make no money or, have money or sell shit. Shit is crazy. But I appreciate everybody who supports and continues to support. I took time off for, like I said, my dad passed and a lot of personal shit. Appreciate everybody sending me the emails and stuck with the support. Of course, I was coming back. It's a lot going on, a lot coming up. So yeah, make sure you guys take advantage of the sale as well. And I appreciate everybody that supports. And yeah, see you next video.